Welcome to the continent's most trusted media platform when it comes to the vision of the continent of Africa to integrate its market. We trumpet the voice or the vision of the continent of Africa to integrate its market, as well as the voice of businesses across the entire continent of Africa. And this week, women across the entire world are being celebrated. Here in Africa, women are being celebrated. In Ghana, the commercial capital of Africa, women are being celebrated. And a lot of women are involved in cross-border trading. Women are involved in trading in Africa a lot. Since time immemorial, women have been involved in cross-border trading, informally or formally, depending on how you look at it. You know, taking palm oil from Ghana to Lomé, Togo, or taking, let's say, onions from Ouagadougou to Ghana, or tomatoes from Ouagadougou to Ghana. These women have been doing all of that to sustain the economy of Africa since time immemorial. And we are dedicating this week to celebrate all these women. Here in Ghana, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, as well as the National Trade Facilitation Committee and their subcommittee on trade and gender, have celebrated women at a forum organized to also sensitize the women on the African Continental Free Trade Area, because they want women who are involved in trading on the continent of Africa to understand the new paradigm of the continent of Africa to integrate its market. And so that sensitization has taken place whilst celebrating these women who have contributed immensely to the economy of Africa. The Ministry of Trade and Industry and the National Trade Facilitation Committee, together with its Trade and Gender Subcommittee, with support from GIZ, has held a day's forum for women in trade on taking advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area as part of the celebration of this year's International Women's Day. Nadinsuya Ayite, the chairperson of the Trade and Gender Subcommittee, recounted challenges that are faced by women engaged in cross-border trading in Ghana. She highlighted her outfit's terms of reference to address the challenges.
Women do tend to have a bit of problems, harassment at the borders. They find the procedures at the borders very cumbersome. And most of them their literacy level is not that high, and therefore they consider certain bureaucratic procedures or administrative procedures at the borders to be difficult to understand or appreciate. We also look at the lack of facilities and their safety at these borders. Doing business across the border for an SME is usually not so easy, especially when it comes to women. Therefore, the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the National Trade Facilitation Committee decided to set up the Trade and Gender Subcommittee to help address some of these imbalances.
Lucia Kwache, president of the Ghana Association of Women Entrepreneurs, GAWE, complained the poor national policies against women in trade.
We do a lot, but we achieve nothing. We achieve nothing because we don't follow up on the policies, and because of the inconsistency in government and in government policies, it's as if we are doing nothing, especially when it comes to the informal sector development in Ghana, and then informal export trade. When they talk about export, informal export, women play a very key role. Right from our great-great-grandmother's time, they were trading across borders.
The World Bank emphasized several interventions it's making to improve cross-border trading, particularly among women in Ghana and Africa.
So the objective of the project is to improve the free and efficient movement of goods in the West Africa sub-region and internationally by reducing the time and cost of trade borne by the private sector and strengthening regional trading networks' ability to take advantage of these improvements. The project has 3 main components. The third component is to reduce barriers for small-scale cross-border traders and focusing on improving conditions for women. In East Africa, we've successfully implemented a simplified trade regime and want to explore that with the government of Ghana to implement something like that. And of course, to look at adequate infrastructure, especially sanitary infrastructure, as well as security for small-scale cross-border traders.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry encouraged women to brace themselves to take advantage of the AfCFTA.
Under the Ministry of Trade and Industry and the leadership of the government, we set up various committees to ensure that we promote and enhance Ghanaian traders who want to trade at AfCFTA. So what actually we did was to set up a national coordination office, which was sitting right in the ministry. Fortunately for us, they've been allocated a new office at African Trade House. So if you go to the African Trade House, they are on the first floor. With the help of ICOMS, we have developed what we call exporter registration process in the ICOMS, as I speak with you. So if you want to trade, if you want to move your goods under AfCFTA, if you log on to the ICOMS, you go to single window, then you can register your product going through this process.
Managers of the Integrated Customs Management Systems, ICOMS, where traders will have to register to take advantage of the AfCFTA, further explain the processes to the participants.
ICOMS is operational in all 16 regions of Ghana. We have operations in about 155 customs operational sites, and they are all using the system.
So we say a big congratulations to our women across the entire world, women here in Africa, women here in Ghana, for the immense contributions you continue to make to the economy of Africa, the economy of Ghana as well. We know and recognized all the trading that you have been engaged in, bringing in all manner of imports, all manner of exports, engaged in bringing in clothing, bringing in food to sustain us on the continent of Africa. We say Yiko, that means that well done for all the wonderful job that you have done for the economy of Africa. And that's why we recognize a lot the contribution of the women on the continent of Africa, and particularly here in Ghana. That is why we have dedicated a significant portion of this program highlighting and profiling the works of some wonderful young women who have taken upon themselves to innovate, engaged in entrepreneurship, to boost themselves, to sustain other people that they are employing, and to grow the economy of this country, that's Ghana and the continent of Africa at large. This week, we're going to bring you a profile of almost all the women that we have highlighted on this platform and the sort of remarkable businesses that they are involved in, entrepreneurship businesses that they are involved in. It would amaze you the sort of things that they are doing, the talent they are exhibiting, and all of that. That comes up in our omnibus for our female entrepreneurs.
I'm a registered dietitian. We are into food processing, peanut butter in a jar in a sachet, peanut chocolate spread, and then cereal. Machine. We have a scale. It's supposed to be 25 grams, being producing to the capacity of the machines that we have. And we look to send to other African countries. We've actually gotten someone who wants to take it to Togo. But because of the border closure, great to have our own products, being able to cross the borders without having worries about the taxes and the VAT. We hope that the African market will be a great opportunity for us to expand.
Afro King Salon, where we have a Nunya Naturals range of products, natural hair products. For several times of using harsh chemicals, I developed alopecia. So I stopped using harsh chemicals and zoomed into naturals. We started with formulation of just oils. We added more range, that is the shampoo, conditioner, our hair food, and then we also have for children and the men. We want to expand in that we want it to be accessible, not only in Africa, but countries like London, US, the Caribbean. All of them know the importance of the natural ingredients. They're making good use of them. If AfCFTA comes in, it will help us produce more because they have reduced the stress of airlifting our products. The increase in demand will help us produce more, and we would be able to employ lots more people.
I am the CEO for West African Feeds. We use black soldier fly larvae to decompose organic material into compost, and the larvae is used to feed poultry, fish, and also it can be used as pet food. If we use the insect technology to decompose organic waste, it cuts down the emission of greenhouse gases. Looking at the poultry sector, feed is very expensive, so yes, we decided to enter into producing black soldier fly larvae. So using the larvae to decompose organic material, then the larvae we separate it, we sell it to poultry farmers, fish farmers, or even pig farmers. We wait for the eggs to hatch. So when they decompose the waste in the bins we provided, when it's time to harvest it for feed, we separate it from the compost. So the larvae can be used for feed. Then the compost, we further mature it. So if it's banku, the banku under kokonte, whatever it is that you prepare, tiozafi, they can decompose everything. And we will show you the results too. We use manual ways to process them, but UNDP came in to support those aspects, and right now we are able to move faster. And since AfCFTA is here, that will help us to trade in other African countries. If we are able to get the right support to scale up, we will supply the Ghanaian markets, then we will move to other African markets such as Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Togo.
I started E90 Ghana Limited in the year 2015. At the time, I was reading my MPhil in accounting at the University of Ghana. At that time, Netherlands generate over $20 billion in mushroom production alone. I realized that mushrooms do not only have medicinal benefits, but equally economic and environmental benefits. So I moved on to the food research to know more about mushroom. I started with only 10 bags, and now I have over 50,000 mushroom bags. So this is the stage where after the sawdust and other agricultural products have been decomposed, we bring it here for bagging. So it's labor intensive, so an increase in market means an increase in employment of women and the youth. We are ready to take on other African countries, and these numbers will be doubled. It's a welcoming news of the introduction of AfCFTA to us here in Ghana. Personally, I was overjoyed to see the possibilities of us moving to other African markets. We, especially the African women that are doing our little bits, will be given the greatest opportunity to expand. Imagine that I now have about 12 employees working on my farm, and now having an opportunity to supply another country. That number is going to double, and that is the real impact that we are expecting that AfCFTA will bring to us here in Ghana. So we now have an existing capacity to produce over 100,000 bags, but due to market challenges, we are producing only 50,000. And we believe that when AfCFTA comes into full operation to open up the market to other African countries, we will be able to take advantage and produce more.
Aside being a nurse, I needed to do something for myself. and then for the future. So I started with cereal Lego mix flour. It's made of wheat, beans, rice. And then I moved on to the oat mix. Now I have 8 solid products. I added on to Ekwegbemi, Oblayo. Then we managed to process our Hausa cocoa into these bottles. Kose, Akara, and then Almighty Puff Puff. And the good news is we are FDA approved. We are producing about 500 pieces of each of the products to serve the Ghanaian community. But we have plans of scaling up and then taking it out of Ghana to the neighboring African countries. We want the brand Samuela to be a household name. When you mention Samuela in Ghana, in Togo, in wherever, they know that it's a brand for everything about breakfast, they have it. So we source all our raw materials from the Ghanaian market. That is wheat, beans, rice, flour. Assuming you're a Ghanaian, you are in Togo, then you enter a shop and then you find Ekwegbem. Wouldn't you be happy? You'll be happy if you find yourself in Cameroon and then you enter a shop, you find Obla, you look on it, you go like, oh, it's made in Ghana. You'll be excited. So this is the kind of packaging that can fit in any mall in any country, like South Africa, in Egypt. And we believe that our products can also compete with other products on the international market. So now that AfCFTA is here, which is going to remove all forms of barriers, be it tariff barriers or non-tariff barriers, it's going to help us scale up and then we produce more and then take it to the neighboring African countries. This in turn will help create employment for all those in the value chain. So you can imagine the farmers, their families, the porters, the retailers, and then the workers that we have. It's going to help a whole lot of people to get employment for themselves.
I started Label Farms last year in May after the COVID with the aim of creating job opportunities and providing healthy foods. We produce lemongrass tea, natural cocoa powder, the dawa powder, and the prekese powder. We've been able to acquire a 2-acre land where we grow the lemongrass ourselves. We've been able to engage 4 farmers. And it's easy to use. You just have to tear it this way. Use a dry spoon, fetch some, pour it into your soups, or just pour it in like warm water and drink it. After that, seal it back and you are good to go. It's FDA approved through the Ghana Enterprise Agency. We have plans of taking our products onto the other African countries because with our labeling, it's bilingual. It's English and it's in French. So anyone who can speak both languages can understand what we are about and what we have in the box. As a young lady like me, I have plans on exporting, expanding the business to other African countries, having it in Togo, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria. Even we are in talks with a distributor in South Africa. So we are looking forward to the officials and authorities to implement the AfCFTA. When the AfCFTA is being implemented and I get to export my items to other African countries, the business would be able to employ more people because we would have to expand, we would have to produce more to meet the market, hence providing more job opportunities for people in my community. We are excited as a business about AfCFTA because it would aid in transporting our items to other countries, devoid of certain barriers and duties. Hence, as a food processing factory, our mission is to produce healthy foods. Anyone in Burkina, Togo, Nigeria can also enjoy the healthy foods we produce here at Label Farms.
This is the place we use your trash to make beautiful artifacts. This is sachet rubber bag that I've used to produce very nice flowers, as you can see, with corn husks. It's a plastic bottle flower that you see here. We use Belacqua, Awake, Specialized, and then the vase you see is cardboard that we've used as a flower vase for this beautiful plastic bottle flowers you see here. This is old car ties that you throw away, then trashy beauties will pick it and make a very nice center table or coffee table for you. The inside that you see is old newspapers arrangement, just for you to keep things inside if you prefer that. This is specialized bottle covers, and then Verna. And this one you see here is Belacqua. See, the black sticks you see is not sticks. It's old newspapers that we used. And then the design you see around it is cotton ear badge. When your ears are itching you, the cotton ear badge you use to make your ears so nice and feel good. This nice mirror you see here is made up of wooden pegs. If you wash your things, then you dry them on the dry line. The pegs you use to hold your dress. The decoration you see around is made up of old newspapers. I started with this, made up of the tea-roll cardboard we find in our homes, and then old newspapers and cardboard. It's another cardboard with old newspapers. Green pepper, this is a silver pepper. Yes, it's made up of Coke bottle, the base, 2 bays that we join together. And this is cardboard, no wood. And then the basket you see inside as a fruit basket is made up of old newspapers. And then the stand you find under there is Belacqua bottle covers. Then the table you see nicely here is made up of old newspapers and then old car tie. This is a car tie sales counter. Now that we have AfCFTA in Africa, which we can sell our products in the other African countries without paying duties, I want to sell my products in the other African countries. With AfCFTA, everything is possible. AfCFTA, thank you.
We say a big congratulations to our women entrepreneurs. They are doing wonderfully well, contributing to the economy of Ghana, the economy of Africa, employing themselves, employing others. And that is why us on the single African market, we will continue to encourage them. We will share their stories with you and the rest of the continent of Africa. In the coming weeks, we will be taking a lot of the interventions that these women entrepreneurs and women in trade are to benefit from, so that we can all learn from it, because we use the stories of these ones that we are sharing with you to let you understand that people are eager. People want to take advantage of the AfCFTA and get into the other market beyond the confines of the Ghanaian market. This week, though, we're going to sit with the one in charge of strategic communications at the National AfCFTA Coordination Office, and that is Honorable Catherine Afeku, the former Minister for Tourism, to find out about how far with the implementation of the AfCFTA, because some people believe that things are moving too slow. Some also see it, oh no, we have gone too far because we've launched the PAPs, we've launched that. The heads of states have already approved the 88% of rules of origin that we are supposed to start trading with. So we are somewhere. But are we really moving at a slow pace, or we are on course if we compare us to the European Union or the others who began before us? We sit with Honorable Catherine Afeku to find out all of that. She would also be answering questions from all of you who have sent us messages regarding the sort of things you need to know about the AfCFTA. She will also be telling us some interventions that have been put in place for the benefit of these women entrepreneurs and women who are involved in trade. That was just last week or so. We spoke with the government statistician here in Ghana, who revealed a survey that has been done.
Yes.
That right now, 53% of Ghanaians are aware of the AfCFTA.
Yeah.
About 90 of them, or 82% to be specific, in average of them are expectant of something positive.
That's the key word, expectancy and enthusiasm. Excited.
So what message do you have for these businesses, the young entrepreneurs and innovators who are so hopeful for the AfCFTA?
Well, first and foremost, we have to take the message to them. It's because what to do, how to do it, and where to do it. So it's the preparatory stage, as I told you just a year ago, this whole first start of trade, 2021 January. Now you fast forward, it's been a year, post-COVID, but we have made rapid transformation in a year. So now what we're doing is getting the communication to the people, not in offices, not on shelves, but to take it right down to where the people are expectant. Using the medium such as yourself, of course communicating through TV, radio, but I prefer going to the people, getting the stakeholder engagement, getting the youth, especially the young entrepreneurs and women who are actually the bulk of the SMEs. So we have devised a lot of simplified 3 steps processes of how to become an AfCFTA registrant. What do you have to do? So it's not intimidating. We have to simplify. If you have been in business, you know of ETLS, you know of the port process, you know of how to be an exporter. But now there's this AfCFTA that supersedes all the other, liberalized tariffs and all the breaks that you get as a trader. So we are doing in this office, and mind you, it's only been 3 months since we got on board, to create an enabling environment for the young entrepreneur who are really the future of this continent and AfCFTA. First, what do you do? Okay, so you have products you want to ship, you want to send to another African country. You have to register. You go to ICOMS, and everything is online now. But if you are not comfortable, we always advise use an agent. Like all the other traditional export process, you have to get an agent through who will help you through the freight forwarders, the shipping and clearing agents. They have been sensitized and they know. So for first timers, just get closer, get an agent, sits with you, take you through the ICOMS, you get your registration. And then if it's a factory or if it's a farm, if wherever you are, you need the GRA, the customs, and MOTI, Ministry of Trade, to come and visit. They have to actually come and inspect where you say your products are. It could be a little shop, it doesn't matter. It could be a factory. So it is not about size, it's about where are you located, what it is you say you are shipping. So you also have to be mindful of all the regulatory agencies, FDA, GSA, EPA, if it's plants, PPA, RSD, all those bodies are there. So you don't have to run around and get all these done if you have an agent. That's why they're there. You pay them for their service.
They're assisting you to clear your goods.
To clear your goods, they can help you to get compliant on the AfCFTA rules and regulations. But the key is to get yourself a certificate of origin from the platform. Once you get that, and you have been through all the procedures of getting your certification, your inspection, you're ready. You're ready on your way to do your first shipment. It is not as intimidating. The populace will realize that it's so simplified that you can just walk over and do it yourself on your laptop, or you can get an agent to help you. But we recommend getting an agent because the first processes could be a bit cumbersome. And once you do the first or second, it's a no-brainer. But we have to walk our people through because remember, we are the host nation and we have to be seen actualizing and taking advantage of this opportunity.
Some concerns that have come from some of our people, just run through real quick, and then anyone that touches you, you may want to talk about it. So Maxwell Odai says, AfCFTA for Africa, let's get together and build Mama Africa. William Echampon says, please, how can an upcoming real estate company take advantage of the AfCFTA? Another exciting area. Louis Dunn, watching from Mauritius, says, keep moving, Africa. Louis Dunn says, I am very pleased watching this channel from Mauritius. Well, him again. The seed is in the now. Let it grow, Africa. We need this and we need it now. Tony Ej says, we Africans want to touch and feel the real African single currency, just like the euro, to eliminate the exchange rate palaver. One market, one single currency. Bravo in advance. At ideas_make_reality says, this is the way to go for Africa. At Travel Aid GH says, one African market is a good reason to unite. Mo Adams on Telegram says, how do we get Ghana and Tanzania together? I want to trade between both countries. Nanix TV says, it's my prayer that I can soon export my product without the stress. Enlightened Africa says, long live Mother Africa. Now, Robert Grissom says, what banks in the Gambia facilitate PAPS transactions with Sierra Leone? So he wants to see, I'm sure that he's in Gambia, he wants to see the connection between Gambia and Sierra Leone and how PAPS can facilitate that, even though this is not at Ghana national level. Can you say something about that?
You feel the enthusiasm. Yeah. But see, for PAPS, we are dealing with the central banks, and then the central banks will make sure the regular retail banking sectors are compliant. I mean, I would use this occasion, and I'm sure they're watching you, to approach their central bank. Yeah. And I'm sure they have their local bank that go first to your local bank. What we are doing in Ghana is ensuring that most of these banks have focal persons on AfCFTA within the banks. So you don't go there and look lost. You can walk to a desk like they have retail banking, private banking, special banking, have a focal person on AfCFTA. So the Gambian brother should actually go to his or her bank and ask, how do I get access to PAPS payment system? Is the Gambian Central Bank ready? Have they put in their systems? Then all the banks within the Gambian market should be on board. And again, it's been less than 3 months when PAPS came on board, and you can see the enthusiasm. Yeah. We're eager to trade. Yeah. We've always been eager to trade.
Abdulaziz Hudu, who's reaching us, says, please don't allow the West to frustrate the continent of free trade with COVID. Put pressure on the African leaders to open the land borders. Now he wants the land borders open. A lot of people want to see the land borders open. Do you think that we should open the land borders now?
That is more of a policy issue. We have to also be mindful of health hazards, COVID, the onslaught of it, the number of...
through all of that?
Officially, no. Okay. There's not been any WHO or local health ministers coming up to say officially COVID is out. So we still need to be mindful and cautious. And within the shortest possible time, we are hopeful that with all the vaccinations, if all people are vaccinated, we can surmount these artificial barriers impeding our trade. But as law-abiding citizens and as a continent ready to interact through trade, these are minor obstacles that eventually will be removed. And I'm really hopeful that, I mean, you know the challenges, just doing the ECOWAS corridor with trademark or borderless. There are real impediments, but soon I believe it will be a thing of the past. If you have the financial borderless schemes, interoperability across the continent, using PAPS, trading from your mobile payment systems, and shipping the goods through the port systems or even road, yes, these barriers will take time, but very soon they will be dismantled. Yeah. They will be dismantled because the people of the continent are determined to overcome these artificial barriers.
So Malik Hammer also is saying that when it comes to, and he's talking about the customs, he says when it comes to pay the duties, they charge more, and that makes we, the small businesses, lose hope. And when we follow the unapproved routes, we and our properties are in danger. I'm sure that they get seized at some point. I started importing from Ghana to Benin. That's my country. I'm sure that's where he lives. But I couldn't bear it as a beginner in interstate commerce. So he began exporting as a beginner and from Benin. He's saying that he couldn't cope with the frustrations and the harassments coming from a particular security agency that's a customs, he's alleging.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, and now we get into the politics of it. Benin has not signed on to AfCFTA, and Benin, as we know, there's been a real challenge in crossing from Ghana to go through Benin to Nigeria and thankfully
duties,
on ETLS, that is really unwarranted. But we are neighbors and we are friendly to each other, so elders have come together. There's a task force actually led by our own son and our father, Dr. Ibn Chambers, Excellency Chambers, and they were recently here sharing some of the experience. So Benin's issue is at the heads of state level that I'm sure dialogue and diplomacy can help us overcome, because you see the trick is from Accra, Tema, or through Aflao to Togo, then you get stuck in Benin. and you have real businesses with their containers and their trucks stuck because you can't cross to Nigeria. But I think with dialogue and with these eminent persons leading the negotiations, I'm sure there will be a way around it. Because as you can tell from your questions and the comments, the young growing population are eager to trade, and they don't want these barriers to impede their creativity.
Meshach Bonzi is asking, he says, so how do I benefit at all from this after that we are touting?
You first have to have a product. You have to have a market. And if you are not really like a business person, then you're a novice, then we have these programs we're doing called the Market Expansion Program at the Coordination Office, where we've brought together about 200 companies that we are walking them through how to export within Africa. There are 3 categories. There are companies that are already exporting and they need support in either expanding to different markets, and there are those who don't export to Africa at all. They do other markets, which is also okay, but we want to encourage them to look inward, and they have to be walked through that whole process. And there's a 3rd category of we've never exported, we just have the product. So our friend falls in that category. This is phase 1 for us. Remember, AfCFTA is here to stay. Yeah. So once we get through these first nominees, I call them, it's an ongoing process of helping people like my brother who's asked the question, because the ultimate is to get people financially empowered. Yeah. And it is abound. So it will get to a point where all of us will be entrepreneurs. You don't have to follow a queue to get a job. Yeah. You can create it yourself and open up the avenue to employ 2, 3, or 4 people and carry them along and break that poverty cycle. Yeah. And it's through trade.
Yeah, and that's what we have been focusing on the Single African Market program. We focused on some of these young entrepreneurs, young innovators, women in trade, women entrepreneurs, and all of that, who are creating new stuff. They are employing people through what they're doing, their entrepreneurship, and all of that. And for instance, last week we focused on a young lady who is creating a lot out of farm produce, maize, beans, millet here and there. And she wants to take it all the way to the continental market beyond Ghana. What would you say to some of these young ones?
There is hope for young ladies like this, especially the SMEs. The women form the bulk of it. And with our International Women's Day just at the heels of our Sis March, you want to liberate the spirits of these young women who have so much energy and enthusiasm. She has a product, and you have seen it, and you say it's well packaged. Like I said, you go through the process of registering, but they need to be helped to get the market access. Where does she want to send the product could be a first step. Who is interested? So that is the kind of support the Coordination Office is ready to give these enthused young and budding business women and men. So such a person is a ripe candidate for our market expansion program. So you get them registered, they come on board, and then we handhold till they take off and they become a success story. Yeah. And I get excited when I hear young women not queuing for some phantom jobs, but she's creating the job and giving opportunities to others. So we'll definitely take her contact and give her details to the market expansion team. This is a person that's right, they can look at her. But phase 1, as I said, we're not adding like every day, but as we phase out the first group, we would definitely pull out the call for the next batch. But this is a person that can just come in for information. You arm her with the data, she can register, she can get a certificate of origin, and then we can easily help her to get markets because she's already established. All she needs is access to different markets in Africa, and that is encouraging. And her product is 100% wholly Ghanaian. So she covers the rules of origin for her. It's no-brainer.
We understand that the NCO has a lot on your plate, a lot of assignment you have coming up and all of that. What are we to expect from the NCO? What should we know about your registration processes, which you have highlighted quite a few already?
Yeah.
And when are we to hear from you if I'm a young entrepreneur on the corner somewhere?
The strategy is to reach out directly to the potential exporter. And I think once they get to know that the procedure is not as scary or intimidating by just going to ICOMS. And then the 3 steps in there is the GRA, customs, and I forgot the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce is part of the team, and then MOTI.
Can anybody also come to the NCO, the National Coordination Office, if they need to register and find out how they can do it?
We do not register here, so we can give them the info. And in these days, you don't need to spend a lot of time, man-hours coming. You just go to the afterghana.org, and we can give you the website. People can go there, and it's all there. You go to afterghana.org. So, but the contact is better. You can go to the website, and it's always good to hear a voice or a face, and you can call the numbers on the platform.
Abdul sends us a message from all the way from Sampa. He deals with cashew products in Sampa, and he wants to see how he will be able to take advantage of the AfCFTA and also be able to export some of his cashew products.
That's the 1D1 of Secretariat, at the ministry, is also open to help these young budding entrepreneurs, walking them through. But as a coordination office, we're here to walk and hold the hands of the Sampa citizen. Because you don't also want to do the just exporting raw material, but to encourage the value addition process by getting a factory or even putting them in touch with potential investors who want to partner. So our coordination office will actually put you in the right direction. Good. That you come in and say, look, I have cashew. It's not like overnight you get it, but at least we point you in the right direction. GEPA even has an export school to take you through some of these procedures and processes so you become compliant as a full first-time exporter. So there are resources to encourage our people to be entrepreneurs, and GEPA is right here in this building. And then you move from GEPA, we have GIPC, it's all under the trade sector. You can get the support of a potential investor. They go to expos, exhibitions, and they meet people. So it's just doing the matchmaking. That's what the coordination office can do to keep the enthusiasm. So again, you are one of our go-to persons. All these people, we can take their data, give it to the market expansion team, and they will reach out to them. Sometimes it's just a phone call. There's a very good story from one of our directors here that they went to Ho for a seminar. There's a gentleman with a big factory, doesn't have the raw material of cassava. And right in that same room, there's a gentleman with cassava. So, and immediately there's a match. Yes. So we can facilitate some of these things. It's not always about money. It's about network, linking the people to the right resource. And most of the examples we have done, a lot of the people are not asking for money. They want capacity. They want training. They want contact. So there's a lot we can do. But it is the light that has already started shining that Africa must trade amongst itself, that we want to keep it shining. It should not be dimmed.
So we appreciate a lot the insight that's shared by Honorable Catherine Afeku, the one in charge of strategic communications at the National AfCFTA Coordination Office, the former Minister for Tourism for that matter. And we also appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us. Continue to keep them coming on our various social media platforms. A lot of people are sharing their ideas on how we are growing the continent together through this integration of the economy of Africa. Keep your thoughts coming. We will take them to the relevant authorities to get all the responses that you need to know to understand the AfCFTA better, take advantage of it, and be impacted by it positively. Those that are coming at the continental level, we will definitely be sitting with the Continental Secretariat to also bring you all the responses that you need to know to understand the AfCFTA better. In the meantime, we're bringing you all the weather reports across the continent of Africa, the African cities, as well as the flight schedules from the commercial capital of Africa, that's Ghana, to the rest of the African cities, and the forex rate for the African market, also the AfCFTA status for party states. Thank you for watching this edition of the Single African Market program, and we also appreciate you engaging us on our various media platforms, both the traditional media platforms and the social media platforms. We will encourage you to tag along this program and understand the direction that the continent of Africa is moving towards, so that you will be impacted by it positively. Don't be surprised, we may be hitting your country next. So we've got a lot of people watching us from Mauritius. In Mauritius, we may be hitting there to tell the continent your story as far as embracing the AfCFTA is concerned. In Gabon, we may be hitting Libreville because your trade minister was always enthused about the journey and the progress that are being made as far as the AfCFTA is concerned. We appreciate you watching and patronizing the platform. Hope to see you same time next week.
In the name of great Africa, is the fight and conquer now. In the name of great Africa, there is victory. In the name of great